Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast. My name is Jake. I have my two co-hosts with me today, and we also have a special guest right to the left of me here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, Corey from Grams and Pops Vintage, the lesser known half.
The lesser known half.
That's about it.
Surprisingly, the least grumpy of the half as well.
Oh,
Really? Surprising to you, not me. I've been married to her for 29 years.
Shots are being fired right off the gate.
Oh, she's got a live tonight. She'll fire right back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, guaranteed.
And then right below me, we have our beloved Soda City Flips.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
And to the left of him, we have Vintage Sport Flips.
How's it going, everyone? Keith, how's it going?
Nice. So, as we talk about every day, every week on this podcast, we designed this podcast in mind with how lonely reselling can be. We wanted to create a group and a podcast where you guys can feel like you have somewhat of coworkers, a community that you guys can rub shoulders with each week as you guys are listing and shipping and sourcing, to feel like you guys are part of a community. So, how did reselling go for y'all this week?
Oh man, it's been
Crazy.
not good for me at all.
Not good, huh?
No, the last 7 days have been trash, dude. For real.
I mean,
Go ahead.
my week was a little bit better. I had some nice higher dollar sales, which helps. But for me, it's always like a bit of a roller coaster. Like Shane, your week might not have been great this week, but next week you might be killing it. It's always like some ebbs and flows, right? In my opinion.
Yeah, it's funny too because like yesterday I'm recording, Friday's video, and I don't even really have enough to put a video out almost. And then I got a couple of sales yesterday, and I was like, okay, that's going to help out. And then get a cancellation, like a $50 sale cancellation, and I'm like, my gosh, what is going on? So I don't know. Hopefully, this is just a little weak slump, and it gets better because it's been rough, y'all.
Yeah,
I don't think Corey's ever had a week that it was a slump. So
this was a slump, but it was our own fault. We had plans to profit this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we got everything set up and we put everything on vacation mode. We still drop listings and everything like we always do because we have a draft bank pretty full. But when we put it on vacation mode, we put it on vacation mode Wednesday, I think, the day before we left. And then Saturday night, I went to show somebody I was talking to a listing on our eBay store, and I realized we hadn't been paying attention to anything. We hadn't had a single sale since Wednesday. Wow. And when I pulled up the eBay store, there was no items on it because Teresa accidentally shut the store off instead of vacation mode. So we had a 3-day stretch without a single sale, and we were just so busy we didn't even think about it. Mm-hmm. So it was a slow week. We had to double up when we got back. It's been absolutely nuts trying to get caught back up. But yeah, like Keith was saying, we can't. If I looked at my day-to-day or even my week-to-week on eBay, I would quit this job so fast. Like we look at our 90-day, and as long as our 90 days are trending where we want them, we're fine. eBay is a roller coaster. Even month to month, you drive yourself crazy looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shane, as far as that cancellation, I know with the new cancellation policy, like you don't have to accept that, right? You can just go ship that thing out right away. I don't know how that cancellation came in, or what you guys do with that.
Yeah, so he said he found a cheaper price, right? So that's generally why I get cancellations if I get them, which is very rare. But it's always seems to be found a cheaper price. So, and that very well may be, whenever you're on eBay and you buy something, after you buy it, eBay likes to show you very similar items.
I was just going to say.
And he probably did see that. And it came about an hour or two later after he purchased it, but it might have stewed on him. You know what I'm saying? He might have saw it and just eventually said, you know what, I'm just going to cancel. He hasn't shipped it out yet. But I look at it as if I don't cancel it, it may just come back as an INAD.
It's going to be a return for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. I was going to ask, have you ever done that? Have you ever rejected a return?
I have not.
I've rejected a couple, only because if I'm already going through the process of packing it up, even if I didn't ship it yet, and it's like I found it cheaper, I'm shipping it. If I already spent my time and effort, and they've never come back as a return.
Yeah.
But I would say 6 times out of 10, I probably do accept the cancellation because you don't want someone to buy something they don't want anymore. But if I put my time and
We've
effort
had-
in, I might. Yeah.
I go rounds and rounds with Teresa on this. That from way back in the day when we were on Shopify, our policy has always been if it costs me less than $100, there's no questions asked. We're taking it back. We're keeping the customer happy, and we're getting rid of them. We'll block them if they're a pain in the butt, but anything less than $100, we don't hassle with. We just return it.
Makes sense.
What does your guys' block lists look like? Do you guys have pretty long block lists, or do you guys?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Maybe 50, 60 people. Well, some of ours get blocked too, though, because we have a one question for $10 policy. So if we're selling something for $30, you can ask 3 questions. After that, you're on the block list.
I like that policy. That's good. Yeah.
No,
I
mine's pretty short, maybe 10, 12 people, but I haven't been selling as long as you guys either. So that could play a part in it. I haven't had as many nasty customers or aggravating customers as you guys. So
Mhm.
it's slowly growing. I add somebody like once a month, maybe.
Mine's pretty
Last
hefty.
6 months. Last 6 months, the returns have
Mhm.
been crazy. I don't know what they did, but the last 6 months, just return.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
that's
got
good.
two coming back now. I had 3 a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something. I don't know. It's been nuts this year.
Over the last 6 months, we've had our highest return rate ever, and I was about to start blaming my wife, but if you guys
Yeah.
are
No, it's
experiencing it too, then
we're getting it too. Last 6 months, they changed something because I can't think of any other reason. We haven't changed what we're selling.
yeah,
And we overpack everything. So it has nothing to do with damage or anything. It's just dumb reasons. Like I just didn't like it. We're getting a lot of that.
yeah. I sell a lot of eyeglass frames, and typically my return rate on eyeglass frames is under 2%. But recently, it's been 6%, and it's all just didn't like it, doesn't fit, whatever.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I don't know what it is lately.
yeah, no, same thing with like the two of you were saying you can't look at your numbers even month to month, especially not day by day. Same with returns, same with cancellations, things like that. Law of averages really hit you sometimes.
Yeah. I know it's easy to get in a bad headspace when you start getting returns at a higher rate than normal. You start really notice them. It's really easy to be like, forget this. Like I got to go find something else to do. It's just, well, more so for Teresa than me. Like she really takes them personal. Like a lot of that stuff she listed, she photographed. She really takes them personal when somebody returns something for some bogus reason. And I'm much more go with the flow with it. Like just let it go. Who cares? We're getting it back. We'll resell it. We're still going to be money ahead. We bought it for $1.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Keep the wheels turning.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at my sales chart for the last 31 days. And on the 25th and 26th, I had over $200 days. And then it just started declining from there. 139, 90, 68, back up to 99, and then 42, 46, 56, and $30 so far today. I don't know what happened, but like during my live show 2 weeks ago, 2 Mondays ago, I didn't do it this past week. I don't know if you can hear, I'm still trying to get over these allergies, but somebody or multiple people were telling me about promoting, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this dynamic capped at 10% and see what happens. Bomb. This week has been terrible. It's a steady decline in sales, so it's blowing my mind. I was promoting everything between 2 and 5% and doing better. So I don't know if it's taken 2 weeks for this thing to get kicked off and eBay to start pushing my stuff correctly, or if I'm being punished for even changing it to begin with. I don't know.
Nothing happens fast over there.
Seems very strange.
We've had about a week long of like $200-$300 days, which is low for us. Like we're shooting for $500 days all the time. That's where we like to be. We usually land about $450, but we've had about a week long of $200-$300 days. But then we had an $1,800 day the other day, so it balances out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, what was the biggest sell in that 1,800?
I think the biggest sale in that 1,800 was 2 boxes of cards for so it would have been like $450. The rest of them were just a lot of sales.
That's a big volume day then. That's good.
Yeah, that's nice.
How big's your store, Corey? Do you have a pretty big eBay store?
Yeah, I think we're over 4,500 listings, which I
Okay.
don't like. I want to
Yeah.
be smaller than that. Like
Mhm.
well, go back and watch like every YouTube video you can when they're talking about don't make these mistakes on eBay. We've made all of them. Like some of them we've made 2 or 3 times just because you go, well, we did it even at Planes to Profit. We took that thrift bus out and we went to those thrift stores. And one thrift store we went into, well, 2, the bins. I hate the bins. I like despise the bins with every fiber of me. But when you go in there, you're like, I got to buy something.
Yeah.
Like I'm a good enough picker. I can find something. So you buy something you shouldn't have bought. And we've probably got 1,000 items we should have never bought just because you don't want to get skunked and you kind of take it personal. We gotta rein that in. But I hate to go to a place where there's that much value for sale and not buy something.
Well, I'm similar with my eBay store. Right
Whoops.
now, I'm the biggest it's ever been. It's like 3,400 items, and I'm trying to get that down to like 2,500. I actually have 2 guys coming over right after this podcast that I met at the Desert Industries. They're my competition, and they're going to come over and go through my garage and hopefully buy a few $1,000s worth of
I was
stuff.
gonna ask you about that, Jake. I know you have a marketplace. You have First Class Treasures.
Yeah.
And we recently just fired off the dollarauction.com.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually starting to think of just taking a good chunk of our inventory, not looking at, okay, this is less than $20. We could sell it for $1. Just take like everything that's 2 years old, regardless of the resale value, and just bring straight fire to the dollar auction and just let it build the marketplace and look at it as marketing.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it. Because a lot of people like, oh yeah, I only run $20 or under items or 15 under or 10 or under items. It's like, well, you're just gonna sell this for $2. But if you put out your $35 item, a lot of times you're gonna get 11 and 16 and even 25. But
well, I put some $30 items on the dollar auction and got $1.
yeah,
The thing with it is, with that $1, I bought 4 more customers that saw that item sold, and they're going to be in every auction.
exactly.
Yeah,
and customers are way more expensive than items.
And that's where I'm the only one here that doesn't have a district marketplace. The lonely man down here in the corner, but I feel like even. Yeah.
You're killing it on the marketplaces you're a member of.
Yeah, I'm happy over there. And I do treat it, even though I don't own a marketplace, I treat it the same way. Like everything I sell, if I'm giving a great deal, then it's you're investing in yourself. People follow you. It's worthwhile to do it. As Corey's talking about, running some stuff that's even better quality, sort of like Dave did. I mean, Dave really built up, I think, a chunk of Dibdit following with what he did over the course of the last couple of months.
Well, the only reason I started jumping into First Class Treasure Lives was because I watched this podcast and I saw Shane robbing you. So I start checking out over there, like, sell me $100 thing for $1. I'm here. Like, so you got a customer just from doing that. And if you've done marketing before, which is my background, every customer costs a certain amount of money. Like customers are expensive.
Yep.
So you want to get them as cheap as you can, but you also want to keep them, and you don't do that by selling your garbage.
Yeah. So that was one of eBay's major strategies that they've been doing over the last 2 years, which a lot of people in the reselling community have an issue with, but I really like it. They're like, oh yeah, we're just focusing on acquiring customers that spend $800 or more a year here. We don't care about the people that buy 2 things off of a Google ad for $27 that costs us $19 to capture and then never see them again, and they return half their items. So
our average customer, when we were really, well, we ran a marketing agency for a lot of e-commerce stores at one point, but our average customer in our shop was about a $75 acquisition cost. That's what it costs us to get a new customer. And our items were starting at about $900 to about $2,400 per item.
Mm-hmm.
And getting those customers in the door, that's why we succeeded and all of our competitors didn't, is because we were willing to spend the most amount of money per customer that was still profitable. And they'd spend $20 to get one guy in the door, and they'd be like, that's too much. And they'd quit, and they wouldn't market, or they'd try some other marketing that was free. And we crushed everybody.
Yeah, that's smart.
Corey, you were Army, is that correct?
National Guard. Teresa was Army.
Okay, so speaking of robbing Keith, I bought a bunch of patches from Keith, and this is one of them, and I've narrowed it down to Army, but I cannot find this anywhere online to try to get an idea of what it might be worth. I see bunch of modern similar ones.
That
But
doesn't look arm. If it is Army, it's probably ROTC.
maybe, I have no idea. It's super
I
vintage.
don't recognize it.
But everything that I find similar to it is Army. So I was thinking this may be Army, but yeah,
It
I
might
didn't
be
even
an-
think ROTC.
might be a
I may have
college.
to-
Yeah, a lot of ROTCs had their own patches. It might be something along those lines. Being blue
Okay.
like that, I would almost have guessed it was Navy first.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of blue patches in the Army unless they're like 10th Mountain or something, but it's like blue and yellow and a lot of the National Guard units, but that's not a guard. That's not a guard patch. I know that.
Guys,
Okay.
Brittany's
Yeah,
to the
I'd-
left of me cleaning and listing items right now, and she's doing her best to stay quiet. She's doing so good. She's like
My wife is
walking
watching
through-
TV.
She's going through quicksand right now.
Teresa's picking up our auction finds. Well, she's picking up her auction finds. So she took the drive to Sioux Falls today.
Nice.
My wife, yeah,
You guys use I forgot the site you guys use, but you guys always talk about we sold this, came from
Mostly proxy bid.
Proxy Bid. That's
Oh,
yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Only because they
Teresa
have a
loves
local
the proxy
pickup.
bid.
Well, right now we have to. Like during the summer when garage sales kick off,
Mhm.
we probably won't buy hardly anything from there. But this is the first year we filled a building with inventory and we sold it all. We ran out. So it was snowing yesterday here. Like garage sales are not here yet for us.
No.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah,
in
not here either.
full effect here for the last 30 days, over 30 days.
I wish.
It's like today, it's 80 something degrees outside. It's hot. Like I was before the show started, I've had a tank top on all day, but I try to I have lots of tattoos and stuff, so I try to cover them up when I'm on camera. But yeah, the yard sales are in full kickoff. I think this past weekend, and unfortunately I couldn't go to any of them, but there were like 8 community sales in my area. And there was one big mega church sale that I talked about last week in the episode. I didn't get to go to that either. But yeah, they're in full bloom here, man. And I'm excited. I'm ready to get going because like I'm looking at my store. Active listings 577. I'm nowhere near you guys. But
It's not bad.
Three
not a bad thing.
312 orders. So that's like what 60% sell-through rate.
That's a
not
good
terrible.
sell-through rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 577 listed, 312 sold. That's not terrible, but again, I don't know what's going on this week, so it's got me like super anxious to go find new inventory because clearly what I'm listing isn't working. And I've been listing nothing but board games this week from my personal collection. I'm a big nerd and dork when it comes to board games, and I've got like what they call hobby games. You can't find them in like Walmart and retail stores.
Yep.
You've got to go to an actual gaming store, and they're very expensive games. People pay hundreds for some of them, but I've been listing nothing but board games this week so far and getting lots of watchers and stuff, but nobody's pulling the trigger, sending out offers. Nobody's pulling the trigger.
This
Blows
last
my
week, I
mind.
think you could list a gold coin this last week and it would sit for 4 days on a $1 buy it now. It's just things are moving slow. And we're putting a ton of good inventory in.
Yeah.
It's just we
Yeah.
get a ton of watchers and it's not moving fast. Things that would have moved in a day are taking 2 weeks to sell right now.
Maybe everybody's like Keith and I, and they waited to get their taxes done till this week.
Yeah.
Did you get yours
Yeah.
done yet, Keith?
No, but I'm tonight, tomorrow they'll be done because I'm going to a show on Saturday. If they don't get them done, I'm not going to go to the show. So they'll be done. You're
Dude,
gonna
you
need to
got
motivate
like
myself.
10 days, bro.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
I got
We'll
mine
file
done
an
yesterday.
extension. We do pretty much every year. We file the extension. We'll do ours in October.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got
nice,
mine done
nice.
yesterday, and finally that's off my shoulder. Something I don't have to worry about anymore. So,
Yeah.
I have a feeling. So, J-Rad, we've had this conversation about how you're more spur of the moment kind of guy.
Absolutely.
Did
too.
did you get your taxes done like just spur of the moment kind of thing, or did Brinley have it all planned out and ready to go for you?
Dude, finances scare Brittany. So I do the majority of the finances, and then we just kind of talk about budgeting and stuff like that.
I
But
stay away from that crap. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me because I can't figure out freaking numbers.
Yeah, no, Brinley's really good at calculus and algebra, but if I say, hey, if something is
Okay.
$110 and it's 70% off, how much is it? No chance. Can't do it.
Oh, I'm the same way, Brinley. I got to pull
that's
my
a tricky one.
calculator out.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
don't.
guys, thank you. I also don't.
I hear
know
Jake
different
talking.
values.
I hear Jake talking numbers on this podcast when he's doing this is this percent and this is that percent.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, it's like watching an autistic kid. Like I just glaze over.
Yeah.
I can't. If I have a calculator, I'm all in. I love the analytics of stuff, and I love the business side of the numbers, but I can't do it in my head. I have to get it in a spreadsheet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't do
So,
it
yeah.
like that either.
So to answer your question, when it comes to taxes and finances, I'm completely opposite of spur of the moment. I enjoy taking care of everything, and then I have a
I can
CPA
see
team that. So having the S corporation, depending on what CPA you use, it's really nice because we have softwares and stuff, and they're always asking me, "Hey, you just made an $1,800 purchase. Was that personal or for the business?" They usually don't have to ask me that though, because I have a personal credit card and a business credit card. But it's really nice, and I really enjoy the taxes process. And
I could see that about you, that you would like enjoy. Like me, I've just been stressing over it. Like I know I got to get it done. I don't want to sit down and deal with it. And finally, I pulled the trigger and got it done. So
Yeah.
I'm usually the numbers guy in our house. Like I'm the one in the spreadsheet all the time, trying to make the math and figuring out where we're lacking and where we need to grow. Teresa, however, is an accountant by trade. She went to school for it. She did it corporately for a big company. So when we went to an S corp in 2011, when we start hiring employees, is why we went to an S corp. That's where the benefits really start happening for the S corp.
Oh yeah.
And she's always done our taxes. So she does the taxes at the end of the year, but throughout the year, I'm the guy keeping the spreadsheets usually. So it works.
So it's like you're literally hiring your wife as a CPA. It's cool.
I did, and I actually had to give her a whole business plan and like a speech, and it still took like 3 months for her to agree to come on full time. That was way back. That probably 10 years ago now. She's not comfortable leaving her corporate job. Like she could push a button for a job every day for the rest of her life, and she would be happy. Like she could do that. I could never do that.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about taxes, I don't know about you guys. I use my Reseller Genie, and shout out my Reseller Genie. My CPA every year says, "Thank you so much for this, Shane." She absolutely loves my Reseller Genie, and she's never used it before, and I'm her only reseller client. So, she loves how everything's broken down and all that. So code Soda City Flips for you guys out there interested, or I think Jake probably, we all might have a promo. I don't know. Do you have a code, Jake?
We do, but I've never used it. Like I love Faith and Paul, and if it costs them an extra $5 a month to send me in the affiliate, I don't need to use it. Like Faith and Paul are two of the greatest people we've met. Like they are so genuine. Yeah. And they sponsored our event 2 years in a row. They've asked nothing from it. Like we give out the promo cards at the event. Like you couldn't meet two nicer people.
Yeah, they're amazing. But I do use it on a monthly basis. So, and I love it. And I'm not even using it to its full potential. I pay the ultimate plan price, which is $20 a month, but I don't use it to its full potential. That would require me to take time to learn how to use it. And I'm not there yet. I like the simplicity of what it does for me automatically without me having to really think or anything. So that's generally what I run with. And I mean, it works. It's great. I probably could get away with a cheaper tier, but eventually I'm going to learn how to use the thing correctly. And
we gotta
hit
up Faith and Paul. We got to see if they'll do a tie-in at some point, or at least an import from the dollarauction.com on District's finance side. The back end of it is horrible. Like it's not great. You got to go to your orders, and you have to do all orders and then export a spreadsheet to get any real information.
Yeah,
it'd be nice if we could import that into like my Reseller Genie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But well, speaking of my Reseller Genie and Faith and Paul, they did send me some of their reseller bags. So I've got a couple here if we want to give one away, Jake, on the show. Sure. I don't know how to do that.
We do giveaways here? How do I
We do
enter?
today. We do today.
Good
So
deal. Good deal.
I'll let Jake decide how he wants to do it. But I've got bags they sent me to give away. So I gave one away.
Comment
on my
Shane
show.
sucks
Yeah.
SUX in the comments,
Hashtag.
and then I'll do a random draw. So Shane space sucks
I can remember that one.
SUX.
That's an easy one to remember, and it's not untrue. So
Well, if you guys want to keep
Stepped right
talking
into that.
taxes and investments and stuff, we'll spend a good portion of the podcast, because yesterday with Trump's new Liberation Day with the tariffs, stock market was going crazy. We shorted a few of our stocks, and it was a really good time. And I think so. Nike is at a 9-year low. They're down 14% today and 7% yesterday. So we're buying up a ton of these really good companies that we really like.
Hoping
And,
those sweatshops come back, huh?
Oh yeah. But I tried to explain this to my wife, but I'll explain it to the audience and see if you guys can understand it. So let's say you make $100,000 and you buy $10,000 worth of product. That's a write-off. So you go from $1,000 to $90,000, and then you pay taxes on $90,000. Let's keep the numbers ultra simple and say you pay 10% in taxes. You pay $9,000 in taxes. Now, if you have a $10,000 credit, then it's different from a write-off. So you made $100,000, and then you have a $10,000 credit. Maybe you have 5 kids. The credit is $2,000 per kid. Maybe you maxed out your Roth IRA and half of your spouse's, so you have a $10,000 credit. You pay 10% taxes on $100,000, which is $10,000, but then your $10,000 credit eliminates your tax bill completely because it's a credit, not a write-off. So you can do this through real estate and through investments. That's why the people that are wealthy in this country invest, because they literally pay $200,000 in taxes on $1 billion worth of assets. It's awesome. So
Interesting. Okay.
yeah,
I thought you were talking about trees for a minute. I don't even know where you went with it. Like,
so
Yeah.
I need somebody to sit down with me and go through that, like on paper, because I get exactly what you're saying, but that's
Yeah.
something well, and I think in a large part for the reselling community, a lot of us are in this because we don't work well with jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of people lean on the ADHD side a little bit, and we work better for ourselves. And a good majority of us don't even know the word retirement plan. Like, it's just in there. We're going to work till we die for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So that kind of advice, if there was somewhere to go get it unsolicited, where you're not going to a financial advisor who has a stake in it, that's hard to come by. And
the
hard to
financial
understand for
advisors are
somebody.
hard because they want to pitch you mutual funds. Like I really like Dave Ramsey, but this is what I don't like about him is he's always pitching mutual funds, because on a mutual fund you have to pay a percentage to the person that is over your fund. And so like if you make a 20% return, you have to give them 4% of that. So it's down to 16%. But if you just invest in the stock market on your own, if you make 20%, you keep 20%. You just pay taxes on it, obviously. But when you
Yeah,
talk
we
to
did
those
the
financial
simulator
advisors-
thing in high
Yeah.
school. They had us do like a stock market simulator, and I think America went bankrupt on my account. Like, I bankrupted
Probably
everyone.
put all your money into Cisco back then.
It was like bazooka bubblegum.
Yeah,
I've only ever used a golf simulator, so you're one step ahead of me, Corey.
but yeah, no,
I have a
like,
golf simulator. You want it?
Yes.
honestly,
got one.
yesterday, I really think a few new millionaires, like maybe hundreds of millionaires, were created yesterday. Because when the stock market just changes up 7% in a day, if you shorted $80,000 worth of Apple stock, you just got $1 million back. Like it was a crazy day yesterday. So
That's nuts. Yeah, that's something I need to learn about.
yeah, but if you
That
but if
scares
you
me though,
called,
because that's
if you called $80,000 worth of Apple, you would only have $15,000 and you would lose 65 grand. So that's
I've always kind of seen the stock market as gambling, and I'm a risk taker. I'm like, I'll take a business risk every day of the week that people will call me crazy for, but the stock market to me, like, I won't go put money in a slot machine and gamble. Like, I'm not a gambler, but I am a risk taker. So the stock market, I've always just stayed away from, because I've always seen it as it's a scratch ticket to me, because I don't understand it enough.
so day trading, when you're working with calls and options and stuff like that, that's when it is gambling. But if you have just like a long-term outlook and you believe in America, you believe that entrepreneurs like us are going to overcome, then all you're really gambling on is if America's going to have more money, and they will through inflation in 20 years than right now. So if you just like invest long-term into an ETF, I really like SCHD, QQQ, or VOO. If you just put $10,000 into those per year, after 30 years, you'll have invested 300,000, and now you have $6 million sitting in your retirement. It's pretty dope.
Ready to pay taxes on.
Well, yeah, but you're only paying 15% taxes on that, where you're normally paying 37% taxes if you're.
Is it 15? Is it capital gains on that then?
Yeah, after a year. So if I buy something for $100 today and then I sell it for 130, I pay 25% on that $30 gain. But if I wait a whole year, then I only pay 15%.
Yeah, I know that's the way it worked with all the businesses. We used to buy up small internet businesses, and then we'd grow them and hold on to them for about a year and a half, and then we'd go flip them. And 15 was always the capital gains on those.
Yeah, that's what I did with my pest control company. Is I just went to Terminex because they're like, oh yeah, like we'll put money into marketing, but it's cool to just have all these little guys work their tails off and get 1,000 accounts and then just sell them to us. And they'll pay. They usually would pay 125% of a contract value, which was really nice. So I would just go and sign up 1,000 people for $500 a year, and then sell those 1,000 contracts to Terminex for $600 per contract and get $600,000, and it's sick.
See, I couldn't do what you did. There's that takes a certain kind of personality. Because I've heard you talk about that business before. To go door to door and sell something, you have to be able to handle rejection. And I would go home and drink myself into oblivion.
Dude,
I couldn't be told no.
Yeah.
Man,
Speaking of
that would kill me.
What happened to Girl Scout cookies? Why are the girls aren't selling cookies anymore? Like grocery stores around here.
Oh yeah.
You guys remember they used to,
here.
for when we were kids, they knocked on doors. And then they started setting up at Walmart and all these places, and the girls would be out there. Now, dude, it's just parents, no kids in our area.
No, the parents are calling other parents saying, "You want cookies?"
And I'm like, no, I'm not buying. I want cookies, yeah, but I want to buy them from your kid. You know, like this whole program was intended. You know, they're supposed to be learning something here, and
I think the world just got creepier. People don't want to send their kids door to door.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they need to go to door, maybe unless it's in the neighborhood they live in, kind of thing, and you're familiar with your neighbors. But they can set up at the grocery store, and I'll buy from them. I love Girl Scout cookies. I shouldn't be having them, but I love them, and
You have to remember,
I'm not going to buy them from their
happening,
parents.
Had an approval.
When the Girl Scouts were selling cookies in our age, like we were feral as children.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they got 6 parents and a community leader behind them, making sure they don't knock on the door. Like,
yeah, man. When I was a kid, my mom had no idea where I was.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked about this story before, but my first door knocking was when I was 7 years old. I was in the Boy Scouts program.
Yeah.
And they had this. Yeah, they had this huge event, and they gave us coupon books, and they said, "Oh, sell these to your parents and to their coworkers and to your aunts and uncles." And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go door to door." And so I just knock on doors as a 7-year-old and say, "Hey, do you want to buy this coupon book?" And they'd be like, "What?"
Heck yeah.
They'd be like, "Yeah, it's like $800 in coupons. It's only $10." And dude, like, I'm just a cute little kid, and it's only $10. So I sold like 40 of them, and then I got home, and my parents were pissed. They're like, "Where have you been all day?" It was great.
I probably shouldn't tell this story, but when we were in Cub Scouts, we were only 8-10 years old, and it was me and my 2 brothers. So it was 3 of us always running together, all a year apart. And then we had a friend named Max that was same age as me, I think. And my folks sent a lady that we didn't know, it was a friend of hers, to come pick us up at a Cub Scout meeting after the meeting was done. And we were selling the popcorn buckets or whatever. So this lady we didn't know, in a car we had never seen before, pulls up and tells us to get in the car. We mugged that poor lady. Like, she was trying to wrestle us into the car, and she'd get one of us in the back seat and they'd go out the other door. We ended up stealing her purse and getting her in the back seat and closing the doors. And we took off and got home and gave Mom the purse of the person who was trying to kidnap us. And boy, we got our ass beat for like 3 days.
Dude, that's wild.
Like that was her
That's
friend, and we
hilarious.
completely mugged that lady.
Oh,
That's why you gotta have the safe word, Caterpillar.
Yeah,
That's
I think
hilarious.
we invented stranger danger.
Straight danger. Did you guys hear that nice little F11 in the background?
I hear something.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
I did the
good
same
old
thing as a
days,
kid.
Corey.
There you go. I did the same thing as a kid, similar to Jake. I would go to, but I wasn't part of any kind of organized like Boy Scouts, but I went to like the local Hostess or like Tasty Cake store, wrote down all the prices and then marked them up by like $1 a thing and went door to door with
Nice.
a price list. So
Dude, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. I
That's
freaking
killer,
love it.
yeah.
yeah, it was a good little,
Yeah, Brinley and I were
Summer
just
summer
talking
job.
the other day because we want to get like 12 chickens. And I'm like, but when we have kids, like, let's do 50 chickens, and our kids will take care of them 100%.
They multiply quick.
and they'll sell the eggs, and we'll get that entrepreneur spirit into them early, and it'll be great.
yeah.
We
Pretty
had chickens. The problem is out here on this 10 acres, there's 100 farm cats, which Teresa does not want trapped or killed in any way, shape, or form. Those are like the farm cats are her little outside buddies. But when you have chickens, you also have bald eagles living in the trees right here. You have raccoons, you have mink, you got coyotes running through the yard. Like every 2 weeks, you're buying more chickens because everything's eating the dang chickens. And I can't trap anything because it'll get the cats.
Get a
So
really
it's-
big dog.
As of
We got-
recent,
We
you've
got the
had
dogs, but
owls
they
and-
eat the chickens too.
Yeah, no,
You've
so does
had-
her parents' dogs, man.
You've had owls and deer as well recently, right, Corey?
Oh God, yeah. We have like 6 deer that come out every night and stand right in front of our living room windows, and the dogs just go ballistic, like tear the curtains off the windows, and they don't
We
like
have
it.
deer walk in our backyard. Not our backyard's fenced in part of it, so the
Mhm.
dog doesn't run off because the neighbors' dogs are out all the time and they get hit by cars and stuff, and I don't want my dog following them. But we have deer, turkeys.
Yeah, we got turkeys here.
Our neighbor had chickens and something killed all of them, so I don't know what it was, but there's a coyotes or fox or something's getting them. But
Speaking of
yeah,
the entrepreneur
we have
bug with your
turtles.
kids,
we have
if you
turtles
if
outside.
you get chickens, we got really big into incubating the eggs and hatching them.
Mhm.
Like that was way more money than the eggs. I actually took a little mini fridge, like a wine cooler, and turned it into an incubator. And then I had a second one for a hatcher, and we would hatch about 200 eggs at a time.
Wow.
And within a week from them hatching, they were out the door. Like they never lasted, and we always got $5 to $8 an egg or a bird, depending on what breed they were. So we had a pretty good sized hatchery going here for a little while, and that's way
There's
more profitable than the eggs.
somebody in my town. I don't know the lady, but I see her at the post office all the time, dropping off boxes of chicks that she hatched
Yeah,
and
they mail them.
sold online, and she's selling them, shipping them off to
Yep,
people.
they mail them.
Pretty cool.
I met someone at a yard sale in Vegas like 3 years ago. They had a ton of like goldfish. I'm like, you guys selling goldfish? They're like, yeah, no, we sell them everywhere. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, oh yeah, you just freeze them and then you can sell them on eBay. I'm like, what?
No kidding.
So they just freeze goldfish in a baggie, and then you ship it to them, and it's kind of like
I
a
didn't know
hornet.
that.
Like, they'll just stay alive, and then when they dethaw, they just start swimming around.
That's cool.
That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
go
I
get
didn't
some
know that.
goldfish.
Yeah.
I used to have many years ago. I had a live aquarium, so live plants and all this. Had aerators and everything super clean, but I had freshwater shrimp, and they come in all these cool different colors and stuff. And I used to order a lot from eBay, but they would ship them live. They'd be in a little almost like a Chinese takeaway container
Mhm.
with like a wet sponge and stuff. It wasn't full of water, but it was, wet and damp for them to survive on. But yeah, I couldn't imagine receiving a frozen goldfish and then watching it slowly come back to life as it falls out.
Well, I'll
Just
do
drop an
videos.
ice cube in the tank.
I'll do like TikToks and shorts where I'll buy Pop Tarts for $4 and sell them for 20, and then like a bunch of people will comment, "Oh, you're not allowed to send food through USPS." I'm like, you can send
fish?
alive chicks, bro. like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
That's how we got most of when we buy meat birds every year, and we haven't done it for the last year or so, but we buy 80 meat birds and they just send them in a box, send them through the mail.
Yeah.
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 That's crazy.
But
Yeah.
we're getting ready to do with the snow melting. I'm getting ready to go trim the weeping willow out in the yard. When I trim that, we get a couple hundred cuttings off that tree that are about this long, and we just rubber band them together, 10 or 12 at a time, and throw them on eBay. They sell
Wow.
every time.
But
I was
was like
gonna-
a decoration or what?
No, people, if they're willow
They'll
cuttings, you throw them in
replant
a poly bag. You just get them home, stick them in a pot of dirt, and they'll grow into a tree.
Dude, that's wild.
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
I was just thinking whenever you mentioned cutting it down, I remembered you had a Pops versus Plants or something like that
Yep.
channel. What is that still going?
It is, but with the wintertime, there's not much you can do here. Like we've got the high tunnels up, like the shade tunnels.
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of plants under there that we propagated last year just by taking cuttings off other plants around the yard. So this year they should be by early summer they should be ready to sell. And we'll sell a bunch. We'll do a couple grand out of that. Just from taking cuttings. Like there's a lilac bush over here that we took a bunch of cuttings on, and under it it's surrounded by catnip. And we just go dig it up by the shovelful, throw it in pots and sell it for $4 or $5 a pot.
You got any lemon trees?
Not here.
My wife and I are in the market for those. We went to a ton of Home Depot and Lowe's, and they don't have them.
We call those indoor trees here. They don't make it through South Dakota.
Exactly. Same here in northern Utah. So you have to take them in.
Oh, I forgot you were in Utah. Yep.
Yeah.
So you sell all
My
the
daughter
plants
has a
on
lemon
eBay?
tree.
You sell all
You
the plants
can,
on
but
eBay?
a lot of times I just sell them on Marketplace because I don't have to
Okay.
ship them. And I'm telling you, if you post plants on Facebook Marketplace, just take a good picture of it and use your phone to identify what it is. You can go dig up just about anything from your yard and sell it. And it'll be gone in 2-3 days. They never last.
Because I was in this district marketplace. It was all carnivorous plants, and that was a
I
pretty
saw that
wild
one.
mar- You see it?
I
Yeah,
did
it's
see
pretty
that
cool.
one. Yeah.
I haven't been in them. I've seen them, and I've seen live shows, on the district homepage, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. That's different. Something I would have never thought to have seen over there. But yeah, it seems to be doing well. The couple times I've seen them live, I haven't gone in, but they've had a ton of people in there. So it
And they're
must
getting
be
huge.
a pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
they're getting a lot of money for some of those plants, like certain hybrids.
those are
and,
crazy.
yeah, they're.
Yep.
I watched one live. It was impressive.
We've
Yeah,
sold
you got to be
pine
careful.
cones. Yeah.
If you're buying the
Pine
plants from
cones?
the store to resell, you got to be careful because they trademark plants. It took me a year to figure that out, but they actually copyright like trademark plants because they're mixed like hybrids. But if you go buy like a regular umbrella plant from a Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, those are usually just a huge plant. And you could break them into 10, 12 plants and flip them the next day on Marketplace for the smaller potted ones for about $12 a pot. And we do that all the time. Like every time I see a good sized plant in Lowe's here or Lewis, we'll snatch it up for like $24 and we'll separate it into a dozen plants and flip them.
Wow.
Have you guys ever seen the creator? He's called I think it's Upsale, and he was the one that he went to Home Depot and he bought a 4x4 and he cut them into coasters. He's like, go to Home Depot right now, $8.
Yep.
You can buy this. You can sell 200 coasters, 4 of them for $20 a piece. Just made yourself $1,800. You guys seen that video?
No, but I did.
But I've seen other ones like it where they're
Yeah.
making like the phone speakers out of 4x4s and stuff. I try to tell my kids that too. In this world, in today's age, there's money everywhere. Like if I had to get $100 to go do something and I didn't have the money, in the 90s, that wasn't the case. Like I'd have to like knock out a few of my brother's teeth and wait for the tooth fairy.
Mhm.
Now there's money everywhere.
Yeah, when I
yeah.
was still working before I was a reseller, I used to do woodworking quite a bit, and I would build furniture and all kinds of things and sell it on Marketplace and stuff. And I was at a cell phone tower that was on this abandoned property, some kind of business or whatever. But they had a awning out there, and underneath it was a ton of lumber. And I found a bunch of cedar, and I was like, I'm taking that. No, but it's abandoned property. And I took all the cedar, and it was, I don't know, big square blocks of it. And for 2 years, I sat on it, no idea what I was going to do with it. And finally, I just cut it up. I planed it, everything down into coasters. And like you said, Jake, I was selling them 4 cedar coasters. And I had what's it called, twine or whatever. I tied a little bow around it and just presented it nice, and I was selling them for $25 a piece all day long. I still got some left. I probably need to figure out where I'm gonna sell those. But
I love stuff like that. Like that
free
stuff. That
lumber, and
stuff
I'm
gets me
made a
excited.
killing. Yeah.
Anytime I can get somebody excited to go do something like that, like find an opportunity to make money, and if I can get them excited about it and get them to do it, like I live for that. I don't like starting the businesses. Like that part of it is the grind, and I don't care for that. The ideas are easy, but once you're in the door and you have that first customer, that's where I love growing a business to the point where it's a sellable asset and then flipping it. Like if I could do that every day as a job, that's what I would do. I wouldn't keep doing reselling. Like I would grow and flip businesses if I could. We've made more money growing and flipping a few businesses than we have if we resold for 10 years. We wouldn't make that kind of money.
Yeah. That's cool though. You gonna do the pooper scooper business? You gonna build one of them? And
I was tempted, but again, I don't like starting the business. Like the job of that is not hard.
You guys were right. That is probably the easiest business to get into. Cheapest.
I do know somebody that just started that business though. She was at the meetup.
Oh, cool.
I was thinking about starting like a TikTok channel like that upsell guy. Because like, dude, one of the easiest things is you just even if you don't have a computer or a printer, just go to a print shop and design a flyer saying, "I will clean and or take your trash cans back to the side of your house every week."
I know somebody's thinking about doing that.
Yeah, and all you do is you learn the route of the. You just drive around your city and say, "Oh, okay, Tuesdays the trashes are out here." You wait for the truck to come get them, and then you just put your advertisement on every single can. Dude, you will get calls.
Such an easy thing to do too.
Yeah, no, it's super easy.
If I had my choice,
take it out.
I would love to just go find a bunch of internet-based businesses where, because if you've run a business before, the one thing that always happens is it starts getting stale to you. Like you'll start running out of ideas how to grow it, and you're making enough money to make a living, and then
like
you
my
quit
YouTube channel.
innovating. Yeah. Well, mine too. But you'll just quit innovating because you're making a paycheck, you're happy with it, and you'll just stall out. If somebody comes in like me and buys that business, we could triple the size of that business before we stop innovating, and then we can sell it. So buying businesses once they get stale and stall out is such a profitable thing to do if you have a good source to go find those businesses, because every business does it.
Yeah, probably having the view outside, you have a different perspective on how they can improve and grow it.
Well, that's a good tip for your own business. If you feel like it's getting stale, get somebody that's not even in the industry just to come in and look at it and say, why aren't you doing this? 9 times out of 10 to them, it sounds like a dumb idea. And then when you hear it, you're like, I don't know why I'm not doing that. Never considered it.
Yeah, because there's so many, I guess you can call it like advanced tips on reselling. The biggest part of our job is acquiring inventory. And thrift stores and yard sales are not the only way to acquire inventory. Like there's so many different things that you can do. You can literally go door to door and ask people for remotes and cameras. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm
and acquiring inventory might be the least important part of our job.
Yeah.
To me, like I think acquiring the inventory is the least important, easiest thing to replicate that anybody can do.
Exactly.
To me, it's figuring out a system to get the right inventory.
That's it.
But then where to put it? Like I can sell inventory that nobody else can sell on eBay if I find a marketplace that it moves in. And then everybody's selling on eBay, trying to buy that up and replicate it. You build a moat just by finding a marketplace to sell it that maybe isn't eBay.
And a lot of times
there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah.
Facebook groups are great. Like the plants. I can sell those on eBay, but I have to keep them alive till they sell, make sure they ship right, and then they stay alive during shipping. With the cuttings, that's easy. But on Facebook Marketplace, I can move $1,000 worth of plants in 2 or 3 afternoons, and I have to take 1 or 2 pictures per plant. That ain't hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Cool.
That's thinking outside the box too, right? That's
for real.
Sure most people you would throw that in the trash and you trimmed your bush, you're happy it's done, but you're turning that into cash, which is awesome.
Oh, I've considered picking the tree dump down here before.
Okay.
I have considered going to the tree dump just for new trees and stuff. But people trim those rose bushes and stuff, the climbing ones, and they just throw it all away. And I'm like, took somebody 6 years to grow that to where you could take cuttings on it, and you're throwing them in a burn pile. Like, there's like $400 in that burn pile.
A lot of people are too prideful for this, but dumpster diving, you can make a full-time living just
They
going to dumpsters.
a bunch of our
look-
group picked the dumpster outside the restaurant at Plains to Profit. They were cleaning out an appliance store, and a bunch of people
Yep.
cleaned that dumpster out.
I can't find like it's legal here in South Carolina. I know a lot of states it's considered.
I think there's
illegal or-
only 7 cities in the United States where it's illegal. Like it's
I think it's
legal.
more of a
Okay.
city thing. Yeah.
Did you say legal or illegal, Shane? I didn't know what you said.
legal.
Okay. Yeah.
But I can never find I don't know if people are getting there before me, but I actually go looking sometimes when I'm just say I gotta, like you guys know, I gotta make a trip into town later to get rats for my snakes, and usually when I'm only going into town for one thing, I'll go ride around and look. That's how people, I don't know if you guys saw where people found PetSmart was throwing away live animals like by the
That's
hundreds, dude.
I didn't see
You
that.
know, those beta fish, the little
The fighting fish.
origami looking, yeah, hundreds and hundreds of those were found alive in a dumpster, and like,
I'm sure there was outrage for that.
yeah, like there was a lot of flag. Just if you get bored one day, check it out. It's all over YouTube. But yeah, I always go look and I never
Well,
find.
you want the secret
anything.
sauce for dumpster diving?
Of course.
There is more Louis Vuitton in coach than first class. So everyone thinks, oh, I need to go to these rich neighborhoods and I'm going to find really good stuff. Go to the trailer courts and go to the low income apartments because they're all competing with each other. They're buying Gucci sunglasses they can't afford and then they just throw them away because they're done with them. It's so like you're probably going to two like not even, I wouldn't even go to middle class. Like I would straight up go to the trailer courts that cost $180 a month in rent, and you will find Sony Walkmans and Gucci sunglasses. It's wild.
But Shane, are you going to stores mostly, like corporate, like strip
Yeah,
malls?
when I'm in town, yeah, I'll hit up. And like I go to the movie theater hoping to find all the old popcorn buckets that didn't sell. I never find anything anywhere.
We do
I
pretty
haven't
good even at garage sales in the lower. I know a lot of people avoid the lower end neighborhoods and they go to the rich
They're the
houses.
best ones.
I'll tell you what, people in those rich houses know what their stuff is worth and they want that money.
Yep.
The people in those, when we go to a trailer house community sale, there's value everywhere. We always find good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, a lot
Probably
of that, a lot in my area. It's going to sound horrible, but there's certain areas that are considered like the drug areas. The meth heads all live there and that kind of
for
stuff.
sure.
Well, they need the money.
And I find great stuff there
Yeah,
because
they
like
do.
if somebody in their family passes away and they get left with all their stuff, they don't want it. They want to get rid of it, and they generally are trying to find money for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And you can get really good stuff in those types of areas. So
Yeah, I do find that
I'm with you.
people that are a little bit more materialistic, I guess that's the best way. They tend to value their items a lot more at a garage sale. People who are not materialistic, they seem to they'll get rid of stuff a lot cheaper, and we find that a lot more in the middle class and lower class garage sales.
I understand why people think there's better stuff at $1 million houses because logically it makes sense. Oh, these guys have more disposable income, so they're going to buy more stuff and then just sell it off. And then also in the content creation side, when I say I went thrifting in a rich neighborhood, I went yard selling in $1 million neighborhood, everyone clicks on that. And so then the consumers think, oh, okay, I need to go to $1 million neighborhoods, and that's where I'm going to get the good stuff to sell. But
And we have gotten,
I promise it's trailer courts, guys.
We have gotten some really good stuff in the $1 million houses. The only difference is you definitely are going to pay up more for it there. You're not going in there getting $5 collections of Department 56. Like everything is $18, $20 a piece for Department 56. Like you're going to pay up more there, but there's good stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Plus, those people aren't cramped for space too, right? They have a full basement that they have less storage space compared to a smaller home. So maybe
they're not raising money for rent either.
Yeah,
they don't have to sell it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I just got a comment, a pretty awesome comment from
Did it say
somebody
Shane sucks?
on it.
We haven't even
No.
put this out yet.
No, that's there. Somebody had a premonition. Cheesy Cheetah replied to one of my videos, and he says, he or she, "Yo, this is my first video I've watched of yours. eBayer, YouTuber, and field herper here as well. What are the odds?"
Oh,
Wow. There we go.
Nice.
So
That's a
obviously,
combo.
I had to subscribe to this guy's channel, but I thought
That's
that was
awesome.
kind of cool.
That guy sounds
So-
like he sucks though.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
probably does.
Cool name though. Cheesy Cheetah. I like it.
Yeah, Cheesy Cheetah.
To check him out.
Yeah,
Cheesy
I just subbed. I'll check him out later this evening.
Dude,
Herping
that's a
season's
nice
picking
little
up
shout
for you, I see.
Yeah, we've been catching snakes, man.
Is that what they call it? Herping season? Did I use that right?
Just herping, but field herping, whatever. Yeah, it's just a way of saying you're a herpetologist who never went to school. So,
I
but
think
yeah, it's picking up. It's warm. The snakes are out. The turtles. We have 4 eastern box turtles that live in the backyard. I have them in a pen I built, and they hibernate for the winter. You know, so they buried themselves back in late November, and they just popped out of the ground this
Cool.
week. So my wife
cool.
was like, damn it, gotta go get more food, because we have tortoises that live inside because they're small enough. One of them's moving this spring. She's going in the yard, but we feed them all year round because they're sulcata tortoises from Africa. They don't ever hibernate. They're not that kind of tortoise.
Talk about a pet
So,
with a commitment.
Yeah, and many long years of commitments. But
Mhm.
yeah, so
Like buying a parrot.
we have to like triple the amount of food we buy for them now that these guys come out of the ground, because they all eat the same thing. The turtles will eat like bugs and worms and stuff too that they catch in the yard, but all of them eat spring mix, basically, is what we feed them, because just regular lettuce and stuff has no nutritional value, but the spring mix is pretty good for them.
That's why I like
Yep.
having chickens. We just open the barn door and they just eat whatever's on the grass and the bugs. And we very rarely had to buy food for the chickens. Only
Yeah.
the baby chicks, we had to get them the starter stuff, but the
Yeah,
chickens just feed themselves. Frogs come out like crazy here during the spring.
Well, that probably
You ever
sucks
see
if
a
it's
chicken
like-
tear up a frog? Jeez, it's a violent
No.
affair. They are little dinosaurs.
Dude,
That's
guys, I just
crazy.
had an epiphany. So the reason why people normally get chickens is to save money, right? Because you don't have to keep going to the store and buy
get
eggs.
eggs. Yeah,
But then you read those articles where it's like, well, the national average that people spend on feed for the chickens and then the coop and the materials and all that stuff, it actually ends up being a wash. You actually might be saving money
Usually
just going
is.
to the grocery store. And then people are like on Instagram and TikTok, they're like, oh, you have to calculate gas and your time and shipping and fees. And it's like, guys, this is the whole point. It's like, this is why some people suck at entrepreneurship and others are great at it. Because you can make your chicken eggs significantly less expensive than store-bought eggs if you find your lumber for free or close to free. If you find your chicken feed for free or close to free. And some people have that skill of saying, you know what, I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to look for all of the wood that has a purple spray paint line on it because it has a slight warp in it. So they're going to sell it to me for $2.59 a pound instead of $13.59 a pound. Or I'm going to go to a yard sale instead of a thrift store and get hundreds of CDs for $10 instead of 10 CDs for $10. So like that's like our job is acquiring the stuff to make money less than other people.
yeah,
And I don't even think it's a
There you
skill
go.
so much as it is a willingness to do the work. Like when we built our chicken coop, all the 4x4s in the entire coop, the frame of the coop,
Uh-huh.
we found old REA poles laying in our trees behind our house, and I took the chainsaw out and cut them up myself. That made up all of the foundation for our coop and all the poles. Like, and we didn't. A chicken's a bird, people. Birds survive outside all year long just fine. They're
Yeah.
a bird. There's gravel outside. There's bugs. There's grass. They will feed themselves and survive just fine. In the hard winter time, yeah, you gotta heat their waters a little bit. You gotta give them a little bit of extra food, but all summer, spring, and fall, those birds will feed themselves. You don't have to feed them.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like that's essentially our job is just
Mhm.
because like like people are acting like, oh well, you're wasting $30 worth of gas each time you go to a thrift store. It's like, no, you're not, dude. You're going to 7 in a day. Like, you're not even using close to a full tank of gas, and you're not driving to the thrift store, buying one item, driving back home, driving to the same thrift store to buy that second item, then driving home, driving back to the thrift store to get the third. You're buying all three of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So it only costs you $6 in gas to get there. I don't know.
I know, like a dozen
Yeah.
years ago, we were at an e-commerce conference, and I met a guy there, and he said something that stuck with me, and I use it all the time now. He asked me what we did for a living, and we told him we own an e-commerce store, and he said, "No, you don't." And I was confused at first. I was like, "What are you talking about?" I have proof, like it's here. And he said, "That's not your job. That's not what you do for a living. If you own a business, your only job is to solve problems.
Yep.
As a business owner, that's your job. You solve problems every day, day in and day out, different problems. So you're never what you're doing. Like, I'm not a reseller. I'm a problem solver. I have to solve the problem of what inventory to get and how to get it. I have to solve the problem of where to list it to sell it for the best price. Like, that's all we do is solve problems all day. And that really stuck with me.
I need eBay's problem solver to get to solving.
Well, see, that's one thing that we really picked up too. It's not eBay's problem.
Yeah.
eBay
No,
doesn't
I
care
know.
that it's broken. It's your problem. You have to figure out a way to work around it.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
No, and that's what like my YouTube channel is it's people recognizing that there's a problem, and so they're coming to YouTube hoping that some person that they don't know will give them the solution to their problem, and they think that they're solving the problem by seeking out this knowledge. But it's like, no, it's on you. You need to stop listing Frank Sinatra CDs and look for Logitech Harmony remotes. That will fix your problem out. You know?
Yeah, like I've literally tried. You guys know we all as content creators watch each other's content as well as many other in our small community. We watch everybody's content when we can, and I've tried every trick everyone has suggested, and none of it is the surefire way to fix anything. You gotta, like you said, you gotta figure it out on your own, see what works best for you, and that's something I'm trying to do now. You know, as of this past 7 days have been a struggle for me, so I'm like digging deep trying to figure out what it is I can change to make things better for me, because I've tried all those tricks and tips and different combinations of them, and you never know what's going to work. It's one week in and sell similar may be amazing for you, and then the next week you don't sell a single thing that you sold similar on, you know. So yeah, it's a every day it's like a change. You got to figure out what change has to be made. And
well, sometimes we create our own problems, like running
true.
a book show raid train on the Crooked Spine without marketing it first.
Yeah,
like sometimes you make your own mistakes, but now we know.
Shout out Beard King Picker for buying all Corey's books.
I shipped it today. He did good. We refunded like $20 in shipping on him.
Yeah,
but he'll do good on that lot of books.
Oh, how did that? I think I only saw Corey's, but how did the raid train go? I was streaming before and
after. It went horribly.
Did it?
yeah. I mean, it was
it wasn't that bad.
To be expected in the beginning, right? That's
I made sales. Corey made sales. I think Alex made a couple, and Chris only made one, I think. But by the time Chris ran, like most of the people it seemed had already signed off for the day. You know, he went at 9 p.m. I went first at 6, and I sold, I don't know, 10 or 12 books. I don't remember exactly. I think it was around 10 or 12. Corey, I think, sold 30 or 32. Yeah. But it was all.
Were they mostly single bids, or were you guys getting a few auctions going?
Most of them were single bids.
I had, I think, 2 that had multiple bidders on them. But again, I think I had 5 different buyers, where Corey only had 1, but it was Alex, and he bought damn near everything. Everything he ran. So, but Alex is a book guy, so he's buying
right
to flip. So I'm glad he was the one getting them for so cheap. Honestly, Corey was doing
if I wasn't willing to give them up for $1 a piece, I start everything at $1. I'm like, I know people say start it at where you want to get it. I will always start things at $1. If it goes to a live sale, I'm willing to sacrifice it to the live sale, whatever it goes for.
Yeah.
So I wasn't disappointed that they were going for $1 at all. I have learned one thing about live sales. Every live sale or raid train we've done, well, not live sale, but raid train that we did that was 30 minutes long, we did better than the hour shows. An hour for a raid train, it just seems like the audience starts dropping. And the 30-minute shows seem to kind of carry that audience through. You don't have time to lose them. So the hour shows have not done as good for us.
Or the ones I've done recently, the co-streaming ones, I think that keeps people attentive when there's two sellers flipping back and forth.
Well, it helps
That's
with the
interesting
co-stream too, because you have somebody to engage with. It's a lot more engaging a show than just like if I get boring, I get boring fast and bad.
Yeah. Well, not yet to that, but yeah, in general, anybody.
But sometimes I'll run an hour show, and the first 30 minutes I'll average, $6 or $7 per item. But then the last 30 minutes I'll average $11 to $13 per item. So sometimes it just takes a little more time to warm up.
Yeah.
But then sometimes like people unlock their their discounted shipping in the beginning, and so they start to buy more toward the end. But sometimes it can, depending on like personalities and engagement and things like that, it can start to.
It's hard. It's something we're still learning. It's a side of the business we've not had a lot of experience in. I do know when you're doing a raid train that's 5 hours long, getting people that want to support you and come in and buy, it's very hard to get them to commit a 5-hour block.
Yeah.
But they might stay for a show or two. It's much easier to get them to support a 2-hour block with 4 people. It's in my experience so far, which is very limited. But those are the ones we've always done better on. But I see what you mean by the end of the show usually does heat up for us too.
Yeah.
That's all good feedback, right? Especially for those people like myself who has a fairly new marketplace. Mine's going to be a slow growing marketplace because I'm specifically niche down into 3 genres in the book category, and I don't have a huge following to try to bring over. So it's a slow grow. And we're reaching out to people like Brian and Tracy at Jack's Treasures that do well on Whatnot and asking them for tips on the lives. Like we're actively seeking from people that are doing it well, what we can incorporate into ours. So it is something we're learning. I don't have one near me, but I have those little postcards that I made for the Crooked Spine. It's got the logo and the QR code and all that. And I'm thinking about running one final Whatnot show, and it'll be final because I'm going to promote the hell out of the Crooked Spine on it.
Just burn the bridge.
I'll make sure.
Just burn that bridge as I'm out the door. But with every order, I'll send out one of those QR code cards and hopefully attract some people. I know I sent 250 to Alex. I think he's going to be handing them out at the Nashville meetup. So I'm doing what I can, but I will say we did this spur of the moment raid train over there yesterday, and just with the 3 or 4 of us promoting it, I saw like 15 new members, 16 new members or something come in yesterday. So that was
the goal of it.
Yeah. So
even if it doesn't, not a ton of activity in the bidding, at least there's more eyes on the static marketplace too, which is always a nice thing for that kind of marketplace.
And I've seen just since we started recording, I know it's been a little over an hour now, but I've seen multiple people joining First Class Treasures. Jake, I get notified on my computer here just since we've been recording.
I'm excited about that.
Notified as a mod?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, no.
I'm excited about those marketplaces. Like I really am excited because it's the closest thing we've done to Shopify since we left e-commerce, where we've I'm not sharing the platform with everybody else. Like that's one thing I hate about eBay and Etsy is you're sharing the platform, so you're also sharing other sellers' reputation. Drives me crazy. We have a great reputation as a seller, but then we have one guy come in behind us and sell a bag of bananas, and our reputation takes a hit too. So I'm excited about what these platforms can do, and I'm excited about doing the marketing to bring buyers to the platform, not just sellers. But I would really like to see, ours personal, I'd really like to see ours kind of rival high bid and proxy bid in the next 2 to 3 years. I want to, that's where I want to see it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of site we're trying to build, is that high bid, proxy bid type site. All auctions all the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I really like the dollar auction. I think it's awesome. I know I got a package from Corey and Teresa coming now from some, I don't even know what they were, some kind of photographs. Keith, you'll probably be
Oh, they're
interested in
postcards.
checking them out.
They're postcards.
Like real
What? Yeah,
photos.
they're pretty cool looking. But I also sold a couple things over there that I bought from Keith, the little airplanes that I bought from you.
Oh yeah, the balsa wood planes, whatever they were. Yeah.
Yeah, I listed them up there for $1 a piece, and Mike Metco bought every single one of them for $2 a piece because Chris Buck Mountain Barn found them first, and he placed a bid. And then Mike Camparelli, the day they were ending, they must have popped up on his screen, and he bid on those. So I think I maybe doubled my money. I don't remember what I paid you for those.
It's interesting to see over there the way stuff is going and what's selling and what's not, because we've got a lot of things sell for $1 because that's the kind of things that people are putting up there. But we've had things go for $15, $17, $40. We had one go for like $51. So the people bringing the good stuff, it's selling well. And
there is good stuff over there. Like a lot of people
I've sourced on there.
It's like a dollar store. No, it's not a dollar store at all. It's there's sellers on there that are listing really good stuff. So I just threw those planes up there because I thought they were cool. And I figured somebody out there might like them. And I buy a lot of stuff just to support people, but I buy things that I think are cool. And Keith knows I like, like aeronautics and things like that. So these planes caught my attention. I liked them. I bought them to support Keith, and I knew I'd flip them, at least get my money back. They're not big money bangers or anything, but I'm glad, somebody else is going to enjoy them or something. They're new, sealed, vintage, cool.
We ran that heated mug over there 3 times. It expired 3 times from our own store. And it's like a $25 mug with over 100% sell-through rate. Sells for $24 on eBay. It finally sold the 3rd time through for $1. Nice. But then we'll have something. Ember? I don't remember what brand it was, but it was new in box.
Yeah. So is that the predominant thing going on over there? I know you had the raid train, but is it mostly like people running like a 7-day auction, or how's the?
I think we have. It's pretty close. Like we have about 350 listings of regular static auctions.
Okay.
But then we're like tonight there's a raid train again. So we're doing we're trying to get people doing lives.
Okay.
I think on average they're getting a better price right now on the lives. But I think as we grow to start getting more buyers in, I think those static auctions are going to do better. It seems like the more people in there, the better the statics do.
Yeah. Wasn't there a big competition between you and Alex over some sort of Shane? You were both maybe a photo disc, a record of some sort.
It was
the He-Man one.
The He-Man one, it was super cool. And here's the thing, Alex never bid on it.
Oh, he didn't.
No, and he talked about he's like, you're not getting that, Shane. I'm going to get it. I collect those and all this, and I completely forgot about it. I don't remember what I was doing, but I completely forgot that the end was coming and I needed to pay attention, and I lost out on it. But on District, you can actually see after something's ended, you can look at who all bid on it, and Alex never bid on it. I was like, he talked all that trash and then didn't even try for it.
I got a question for Jake on First Class Treasures. I see when you're doing the lives, when people are doing the lives over there, you're in there supporting and bidding a lot.
Yeah.
We got called out for that already on our marketplace.
Really?
As the 4 founders coming in because people thought we were shill bidding. So we've kind of pulled ourselves away from bidding during the lives. We'll bid on the statics, but we try not to bid on the lives now because there was a perception, at least from a few people, that thought maybe that was shill bidding.
I would just say cancel out that noise and just keep doing it. Just because I've spent probably, we can see here.
See, Corey, I like to play off of Jake bidding on stuff because I'm like, guys, if Jake's bidding on it, it's got to be good. Don't let him get it because he's just going to get it from whoever's selling and then resell it to you next week for double. You know what I mean? Like, because people want to support Jake. But
none of us were bidding. None of us were bidding on stuff. We were bidding to support the people selling. Obviously, we definitely were. But none of us bid on anything we didn't actually see the value in. Exactly. Like I've not bought a single thing on there I couldn't resell and double my money on.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe if you were bidding on your wife's stuff, if she was running and you were bidding, maybe could people raise a red flag to people. But it's it's a different seller. It's not. I mean, I know I've
Yeah,
been on
that's something
Whatnot. Yeah,
we're really cautious of right now
Yeah.
because somebody did bring it up, and
That's
and
crazy.
I know if I saw somebody shill bidding in an auction, like I'd get like if the auctioneer had an employee bidding, I'd be upset too. But
Yeah, for sure.
we're so new to this.
We haven't had any shill bidding issues yet. But yeah, but you're a reseller. Yeah, like, and
Yeah.
all of your partners are resellers too. So yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are just buying to support the seller, but more to put food on your own table and feed your chickens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Back in
Cat feeds chicken.
back in the late 90s when I first started doing eBay, I got accused of shill bidding. You guys remember everything was auction back then. And my username was Nikon for me. I was a photographer, landscape photographer back then. And I used Nikon equipment, and I would buy and sell sports cards. And I collected sports cards and stuff. So that's how I would buy cards, boxes and stuff, open them, and then I'd resell and buy cards I wanted. But there was an auction one time. Somebody was bidding on of mine, and their name was LP for me. So the person who lost the bid was complaining, saying that there was shill bidding going on because the usernames were similar, and the other person, LP for me, who was the one who won, that person lived like all the way across the country from me, and I'm like, how? I mean, eBay like made me go through and do a whole bunch of verifications. I'm like, how do you not see that I'm not the same person? Like,
Yeah.
the accounts are nowhere near each other, the IP addresses, all that kind of stuff, But yeah, it took me, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. I wasn't able to do anything until I
That's crazy.
got all that verified and cleared. But
Have
somebody
you guys
complained saying it was shill bidding.
Speaking of boxes of cards and breaks, have you guys done a Bo Jackson chase yet on your channel, Keith?
No, we've ripped some that era stuff, but not looking for Bo particularly. No.
I'm gonna have to send you a box of cards.
Hey, wait, now
Yeah.
you didn't send
Yeah.
me one.
I
I
like
had to
it.
buy it.
Thank you.
Well, Keith, I saw what you bought from Keith in the last 2 weeks. Like, I feel like Karma's got to deliver something back.
It's very nice of you, Corey. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know what I think? You know what I think is more of a slippery slope than even discussing shill bidding, which I don't think it's shill bidding at all. But there's almost a little bit of like when it's a community, a tight knit community. There's a lot of friends over there, and where people don't bid because they see like I'm bidding or somebody else is bidding. Like that's almost like a collusion kind of thing, right? Where you're like not bidding, it's hurting the seller,
exactly,
hurting the marketplace. So
we haven't seen a lot of that I'm aware of. I'm sure there probably is sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
we've had a pretty
Keith,
big.
I apologized to Keith one time because I outbid him and won something he was bidding on. He was like, "Dude, don't even worry about it."
No, exactly. Yeah, there's no friends at auctions. Just go. I mean,
Yeah.
I know me and Jacob bid against each other. Yeah, there's never gonna be any hard feelings about that. For
If
sure.
there's something I
decent
want, I'm going to
influx
try to get it.
of new buyers all the time. So that's one thing about being a growing platform still and still being new. We've had a pretty good income of new buyers all the time. And we're marketing outside, not to resellers. We're marketing on Facebook and Instagram and not targeting resellers intentionally.
Yeah.
So we get new buyers in pretty often. So
That's awesome.
a lot of the times when we kick off a raid train, like tonight when those guys go live, we're not part of it. But the other 3 founders are. Like, we fully expect to see 40 to 70 people in the lives. Like,
that's right.
It may fluctuate and go down to 30, 20 at some points, but we've been averaging between 40 to 60 in the lives. And a lot of the names we don't recognize. And they're not in there chatting. They'll just bid when they want something.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome for new marketplace. That's really pretty. I mean, I've never had a Whatnot show get to that many people.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I haven't either.
And this, no disrespect to anybody, but I think the dollarauction.com for its first week or two has grown the fastest out of any other marketplace I've witnessed since
we jumped fast,
because I've watched the Dibdit marketplaces, Jake's marketplace, First Class Treasures, my marketplace, yours. I mean, you guys are doing something right because that thing is growing fast, man.
Yeah, it's something we really wanted. Like, it's something we really wanted for ourselves. So we're using it. Like, we're using it heavily. And It'd be different if we were building, if I was going to go build like an e-commerce store again, we were going to sell toilets online. That's not something I want to buy. And as much as I try to grow the business, it's different when you're trying to grow a business that you're growing because it's not there. It's something you want. Like we want that to succeed. So we have that back door for our products.
Yeah.
And I can't do that in my area. I already tried. I don't have the population to pull that off on Facebook like most of the dollar auction groups are.
Well,
so I really want it to succeed just so I can use it.
Well, kind of back to your question that you had for me. I would just understand your own morals, and then it does not matter what other people say, because people are going to come and go and it's going to be whatever. But like on my TikTok, my best videos is me saying things that I don't even believe myself. And like, it's like, oh, that's shill bidding. That really is. I'll be like, man, CDs, don't sell CDs. You're an idiot. They suck. I sell hundreds of CDs a week, So it's like, or like, I have a few fake TikTok accounts. One of them is called Big Mama. Big Mama hates J-Ride flips, and it's me.
Nice.
Because I'll go on to my own videos as Big Mama, and I will comment, "You're stealing from poor people," and then I will argue with myself, and then other people will jump in, and then my video that would have got 80,000 views now has 2.7 million. So it's like
I could do that organically. I could just have me and Teresa each create an account. We could argue with each other.
Oh yeah, that's great. But like, or like. You don't want to be fraudulent. You don't want to say, "Oh, we sold $100,000" when you only sold $10,000. But like, if you guys have it sounds like you guys have 4 owners, and each of you have 2 devices each, and you can show that there's an extra 8 people in your life. I do that, like
yeah.
Like people may disagree with that or whatever with my TikTok account or like with views and stuff, but it's like. The people that appear, like there's my friend, he's a bodybuilder. He had 27 followers and he flew to Los Angeles and he took pictures in a fake studio showing him on a private jet and with a Lambo. And he instantly got 13,000 followers in a week. Now he has like 1.9 million followers. It's like, dude,
call it social proof.
Yeah.
Social proof is big. I mean, the appearance of success is pretty big. Now, one, I'm not successful enough to rent the Lambo or fly to Vegas, but I understand what you mean. But the social proof is big, and that's where, for a lot of places, like your reviews on Google and stuff for local businesses, they matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Stuff like that. So social proof is a big thing, and we do get quite a few people in our lives already. Luckily, now Shane on the Crooked Spine last night, our first show we've ever gotten the YouTube stream to work through this platform.
Yeah.
It worked on yours last night through our channel, and we did get a bunch of people in through that. That's the first time I've ever been able to get it to work. It's never worked for me on the dollar auction. So we've never gone live during an auction before, or we'd have even more people, I think.
I think Jake probably remembers when I first started doing live shows, and Keith may even remember, I couldn't get mine to go through to YouTube either. And it didn't matter whose marketplace I was on, whether it was Dibdit or First Class Treasures, I could not get it to work. And finally, I just deleted the app and re-uploaded it and updated, and it's worked ever since. So I don't know.
Hopefully mine will stay working. Fingers crossed.
Now, they did just put a new update out. So
I saw that.
A lot of people are upset or not happy with the new update. I guess it's got a lot of issues, but I haven't witnessed them yet. Well, maybe because when Alex was live yesterday, he was super laggy and freezing. For
yesterday
me,
was horrible. They had a lot of glitches yesterday.
But everybody else in the comments said, no, he's not frozen or anything, but he was frozen on my end. So I was like, well, I did just
Teresa,
update. Maybe that's part of
Teresa
the
did a live at like 3:00 yesterday, and it kicked her completely out of her own live. And she had to go in and recreate the live. So it was really glitchy for about an hour or two yesterday.
Yeah, fully crashed yesterday afternoon. I couldn't get into it at all. Last night was okay for me though. Other than Dan, I was selling with Dan in Demand, and he lost power midstream on Dibdit cards, and he was selling cards by candlelight. It was like you
I
could
know,
barely
dude,
see the card.
That's the best, dude. That's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's like moving his camera. He's like, sorry, guys.
Dan's such a wild card to begin with. Like
Yeah.
I missed that show. I didn't see it, but I could imagine how amazing that would have been.
I'm gonna try to make it into a short. To be honest, it was so good.
We jumped in and got a couple Alabama hats, like new Alabama hats off First Class Treasures last
Oh
night.
yeah.
And
Nice.
it got a little bit glitchy, so I left. But I think who was selling the Rad Picker?
Yeah, it was the rat picker. I was there shield bidding against you for those hats.
Yeah, I got those. Those are coming, but those are good resale value at the price
Oh yeah,
they were
no,
going at.
I would have
100% I'll make money on those.
So many
Yeah.
people bring amazing stuff to these live shows. Like people on YouTube, you know, the not the creators as much as the watchers of the channels.
Mm-hmm.
They love to hate on the live selling thing. They think it's
Me too.
stupid and you know you're losing money and all this. But I mean, these guys are getting some of the stuff is selling, you know, $40-$50 and it might have sold for 70 on eBay and it could have sat on your shelf for a year. So
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
tell you
okay
where
with that $20 difference, you know.
I'll tell you where the mind shift happened for us. Because if anybody's guilty of shitting on live selling for a year and a half straight, it's me.
Mhm.
Like I've trashed live selling from every platform, from every angle. And a lot of it is resellers are just selling garbage. That's where their stuff goes that they can't sell ever, and they're getting people to come on there and addictively buy. And I
Right.
agree with that. I still to this day agree with that. Where the mind switch happened is when I actually owned the platform, when we built the platform. Then I realized as a platform owner, we're putting amazing stuff on the platform, not garbage. We're
Yeah.
putting really good stuff on the platform, as to where when I was selling on Whatnot, we were putting garbage on the platform. It was the stuff we couldn't sell. Now we're putting great stuff on, and we're trying to build a platform where people can source great stuff so that more people will put great stuff there and get better prices. So we had a complete mind shift. But up until I owned the platform and was trying to actively grow one, absolutely, we were 100% on the mark. Most sellers that come in and just sell until they've had that mind switch, they are trying to dump garbage.
Well, I think a lot
without
of
a
people,
doubt.
I think a lot of people get upset because ADH Dave, for example, he would say on the Trash to Cash podcast and his YouTube channel almost weekly, like, "Oh yeah, I only sell items that are 15 or below. Everything else goes on eBay." And people hear that and they're like, "Oh, so you're listing your junk?" That's actually a great business model. And
It is.
there are really good quality items for 15 that you can sell on a live platform, and your followers and the people that are going to your shows are happy to pick it up for $9 instead of 15. So it's like, I think they're like, some people that don't do things hear things differently. Like people that have never heard about reselling. Oh, you spend so much money in gas. It's like, no, dummy, you don't.
Well, and the other side of that mind switch for us too was we're thinking in terms of you're selling your junk that doesn't have a lot of resale value, and we're thinking of it from the perspective of a reseller, thinking our buyers are also resellers. With the dollar auction, we've completely gone away from that. I don't want resellers there like nickel and dime. Like I want them there. I want them to come sell there because they get good value for their items. But our customers are buyers. They're not resellers for the most part.
Smart.
And that's what we're marketing towards, is people that come in and buy the item that's a $15 item, and they spend $12 on it because they want the item, not because they're looking for a margin. And when you look at it from that point, that buyer is going to be super happy because he got an $8 purchase that was a $15 item.
But
it's a different experience than for a reseller.
But even Whatnot is like catered to collectors. And I'd still say 7 out of 10 items are sold to a reseller. You know, they have like put hundreds of millions of dollars already at this point to getting Pokemon collectors and coin collectors, but still 70% of their items. This is just a arbitrage number that I'm coming up with. I'd assume over 60 or 70% of the sales are still going to resellers. So you're always going to have that base market to get items that are worth 20 up to $7. And then you're hoping that you have collectors in there that will get it to 16.
Well, they incentivized sellers coming on the platform so heavily.
Yeah.
Like they really pushed for 2-3 years and incentivized the crap out of getting sellers over there. So it makes sense that the sellers are over there looking for deals to resell. Like it, and it takes a little while to to actually flood that market with people that are wanting to buy because they want the item. Like that's an uphill climb and it takes a while.
Sure
Well,
does.
you
But I don't think
mentioned-
having the sellers in there is a bad thing.
Oh,
I
never.
mean, I think having the sellers in there is a great thing. You know, it gets the bids going for the people looking for margin, and then the people that
Oh.
really want it, they'll pay up.
Even at a thrift store level, if it wasn't for resellers, Goodwill wouldn't be a
They
business.
die.
Yeah,
they go
there's-
away.
because no one's gonna buy that remote that
Oh, yeah.
goes to an obscure DVD player that like you're just gonna buy.
Well, they will. They just won't be in that Goodwill store. The chance of
Exactly.
matching the customer with that item is very slim.
When
Oh, yeah.
my dog chews my remote, I don't think, okay, I'm gonna go to Goodwill
3
to
of
see
them.
if I can find this.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna
Right.
have to go to 39 Goodwills and probably still not find it. So
I'm
it's
on
like-
my 4th remote for my TV because the dogs ate it and took it out
Yep.
the dog door, and we bought them all on eBay.
Heck yeah.
Dude, a lot of
Well-
people talk crap on me selling remotes. They're like, why would people buy remotes? It's like, because they have dogs, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a great,
And it's
great
like,
good
and,
choice.
it's like, and they're like, well, why wouldn't they just buy like universal ones? Like they've done that, and it doesn't have the buttons that they want. And
Nope.
if their dog doesn't get to it, it breaks in 5 months, so they have to buy 2 more of them anyway.
Yeah,
And they
because of a
got
little
fed up
poodle
with it.
named Madison. That's why we buy remotes. And
Yeah.
when we buy them now, we buy them in bulk.
Yep.
That's smart.
That's
Here we go.
funny. Well, Corey, you mentioned the negative remarks about selling junk on live sales. I ran into Josh and Haley one time at a sale last year, and I was leaving the sale.
That's the
Josh
Davy
and
refinement
Haley.
couple, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
I was walking to my Jeep. They were just coming into the sale, and Josh is like, "What's up, Shane? You find anything good?" And I'm like, "Not really, you know." And I said, "You guys could probably do okay though." And he's like, "Why? Because we only sell junk on Whatnot." And I was like,
Huh.
"No, because you actually have a following and people like to support you." So, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
and
it
the
really
first
doesn't
statement
matter
wasn't
what.
necessarily. It wasn't necessarily untrue.
Right. Like he can sell junk and his followers will want to buy it. I'm not saying he does, but I guess he's heard that before. So that's
sure he
that's
has.
why it was funny when you said it, because immediately I thought about that little run in with Josh and Haley.
Well,
I
and
was like,
When I hear
Josh
that
thought
stuff
I
too,
was saying he was selling crap.
you kind of have to keep in mind nobody's ever been jealous of somebody that isn't doing good.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
nobody's
Oh,
jealous
yeah,
of you
correct.
if you're not successful. So there's always
Right.
going to be that pushback on that. If somebody's killing it selling junk, they're always going to get kickback on that. But it's from
Yeah.
people that can't sell junk.
Yeah.
But there is absolutely a lot of junk being sold on live platforms like that.
Oh, for sure.
I would never back down on that. I do think there is, but it's from sellers like me who want to get into it, and they're like, I can get $30 on eBay. I'm never going to put this on a live selling platform. But I was never trying to grow one before. I didn't understand the model.
Yeah.
The more you
Yeah.
grow it, the more you're going to get that $30.
It all
Yeah, I've
comes
been
from
trying to-
people who can't get your price that talk crap on you. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
I've
that's
been
it.
I've been curating my next First Class Treasures show. I know what the buyers on First Class Treasures are looking for, kind of stuff. You know, like I've been paying attention for the
Hot Wheels
last
and pocket knives, man.
foot. Yeah, dude. The last First Class Treasure show I did, I sold like eight or nine knives. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to curate.
I've got a bucket of
specifically
knives
for
somewhere.
live selling.
Oh,
Dude,
bring them
they
over.
on
Man.
First Class Treasures, they love them, bro.
No, me and Jose will
Around.
fight over them. We'll
Yeah, Jose
like I'll
especially.
spend $17 on a knife worth $11 just because like and I'm like super cheap. There's a lot of people in there that like, oh, I just like the knife, I just want it, I don't care. I can get it for $19 on eBay, I don't care, I'll pay $28 here, I just want it.
Yeah.
And Jose, man, if you got a green handle knife,
Oh yeah.
he's gonna get it.
I need to get a show scheduled over there next week. It's been a couple weeks. Now that my taxes will be done soon, I'll start tacking that. I was gonna try to run an action figure show over there because I know nothing about it. I have a ton of them, but it sounds like there are a lot of knowledgeable people over there that at least can tell me who I'm selling or know what I'm selling.
Yeah, like Genesis
Oh,
is in there. Always.
By the
I have
way,
some
yeah.
stuff I think would go well over there. I might have to schedule a show over there. I've not sold anything over there yet. I've been creeping and watching lives, and I bought a few things, but I
I've
haven't
seen you buy a few, yeah.
run a show over there.
So yeah, you're
I
always
enjoy-
welcome. And by the way, like not calling out or talking about anyone else, but like if you come into First Class Treasures, I want you to say, hey guys, I also have a platform I go live on all the time, follow me, and then go follow my go join my platform, because I want to spread the
I'm
love.
going to promote the Crooked Spine show so we can get some books sold, because I have more
Yeah.
books than anything.
Shout out Pipe Dreamer for
Pipe
winning
Dreamer.
Keith's big giveaway
Oh,
today,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm super happy. Like, I'm upset I didn't get it. Obviously, everybody
Dustin's a
wanted
cool
that.
guy.
That shirt was amazing, but I was happy to see it go to someone who supports everybody.
Mhm.
You know, everybody, all different marketplaces, all different YouTubers. He's constantly supporting everybody, so I thought that
Yeah.
was really cool to see.
That was
him win
awesome.
That
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
killer giveaway, Keith.
Yeah, $150 shirt. I was happy to, like someone you could see in every show buying from all of us. I was happy that they got that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to run Jack's Treasures did us a huge favor when we first started our marketplace, and he ran a $60 Disney Loungefly on the dollar auction, and he did it completely as a favor. He didn't have to do it. We didn't ask him to do it, and it ended up selling. I bought it for $17, which was crazy deal. And I'm going to turn around. I'm going to run that starting at $1 back on the dollar auction, and just rerun the thing. So if you're looking for Loungeflies, we got a really good one coming up on the dollar auction soon.
Nice.
Dude, I'm genuinely shocked by Loungeflies, man. Those things sell for freaking good money.
Yeah,
they do, and they don't sit around long either. They sell pretty quick.
Yeah,
I've got to get Jack's song uploaded to YouTube.
Jack's Clothing or Jack's Treasures?
Jack's Treasures. It's called Brian and Jack the Cat. It's a reggae tune.
I think I heard that one.
That's from your last Monday's live.
Yeah, we made it live on the Soda City Social, and he loved it.
I actually subscribed to that AI just so I could write the song for Planes to Profit to put in our video from yesterday.
Yeah,
because we had one written, but it was on the free version, so I couldn't use it. So I had to subscribe just to write the Planes to Profit soundtrack.
Yeah, once you subscribe, everything you make during your subscription is yours forever, even if you cancel. So I mean, it cost you what, $10 to create that song, which is,
well, you can't pay monthly. You have to pay for the year. So it's $8 a month for the year, and you have to pay for a year at a time. It wouldn't let me do a monthly, but I'll use it again. The only complaint I have about it is the 200 character limit on what you.
Yeah, I wish it was a lot more than that.
I had so many more details.
Yeah. It's hard to when you want to write a song about somebody very specifically. Like I uploaded one about Dave, Anthony Dragon Masters Finds, and Harry Tornado. I've got a ton made already, but like the Harry Tornado one, it's about.
Harry Tornado, that's that Asian guy in San Jose that sells clothes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, you're good at this game.
Yeah.
But this song is about Harry Tornado just destruction through the flea market. It's called Flea Market Wrecking Ball, and there was so much more I wanted to add to it, but I was limited. So it's still good.
I used
it's a
AI
heavy metal song.
I use ChatGPT. I write out whatever I want for the song, and then I dump it into ChatGPT and tell it condense it to 200 words, and it does a pretty good job of getting all the details in there.
I'm gonna have to.
That's just having robots communicate with robots, though, and we all know what happens in Hollywood when that happens.
I'm ready for Skynet. Bring it.
I'm gonna write a song about it, or I'm gonna have AI write a song.
We usually go 90 minutes. Do you guys have any time restraints?
No.
I have to pick my son up from school, but I don't mind. My wife usually does, but she's at a doctor's appointment. But if I can drop out, you guys can keep going if you want. But your call. Is that
up to you guys?
You guys got anything you want to plug?
I think we did through the whole episode.
Yeah, I mean,
come follow us on Grams and Pops Vintage.
Thanks.
Yep. Soda City Flips everywhere.
Yep. Vintage Sport Flips all over district, YouTube.
And then my name is Kevin the Commonwealth Picker. I also have another channel called Commonwealth Flipper. If you guys want to follow me on YouTube over there.
I wouldn't have recognized you without the hat and glasses.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us on the island. And we'll see
thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Corey. It was awesome, man.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy.
Okay, see you guys.
Keith, shoot me your address on Instagram.